I opened the door and saw her boss on top of my wife. I stand there for a second and yell out surprise. D-Day was 10 days ago, 1/29th. I won't forget that day now, either the cause of the day after our anniversary. Since then I have been reading a lot of posts on this sub. It has been helpful to know I'm not the only one. Now I thinking posting what happened will help me out. It's going to be long cause I think details matter and I've been playing it over and over in my head every day. Our story. Been with my wife for 29 years, married 26. I'm 51M, her 49F. 2 grown kids, 24S, 22D. Meet in college, dated, fell in love, married, and thought what I believed was a great marriage. Did a lot of things together, talked all the time, communicated about things that were troublesome. Both of us had successful careers that we both supported each other in along the way. Great love life, maybe not as often as when we were younger but just as passionate. She's in IT and I own a small landscaping company that employs 75 people that I started after graduation. She's been working from home a lot since COVID and we have been talking about my easing out of the day-to-day operations and her going part-time so we can spend more time together and travel etc. now that the kids are established. Looking back, there were no red flags that I've read so much about. No weird texting, no guarding her phone, no clothing changes, no unusual behavior, no nights out with people from work. When she did go out it was friends and family and I always heard from someone the next day how I should have come, but I wanted her to go out without me and I enjoy being by myself doing stuff in my shop. She always was home early. To say I was blindsided is an understatement. D-Day. The week before I had booked a weekend at a romantic bed and breakfast owned by some friends. Our state is open. The winter festival was that weekend. I leave work early to surprise her and tell her to pack a bag, we're going away for our anniversary. I pull my truck in the driveway and find a strange car there. Right away, I just knew, don't know why, but I did. I'm hoping and praying I'm wrong, but my gut is telling I'm not. I sit there a while wondering what to do, leave and talk to her later, leave and pretend I didn't see it, not sure what to do. I'm shaking so bad I can't see straight. When I have something at work I have to do that might be uncomfortable, I always tell myself, man up, get this over with. Suddenly, shaking stops and feel very calm, no idea how, 'cause inside I'm a wreck. I sneak in the back door and my black lab is laying there with a sad face, like he knows, instead of jumping on me. Man, I love that dog. He stays as I quietly go up the stairs. When I get upstairs I can hear what is going on in our bedroom. I get to the door and open it and see her boss on top of my wife. I stand there for a second and yell out surprise. The crap show that followed would be laughable if it didn't hurt so much. He rolls off trying to get out of bed but he gets tangled up in the sheets. My wife is screaming OMG, 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 OMG and trying to cover up but can't 'cause he's still tangled up. He finally gets out and starts looking for his clothes, only they're on the other side of the bed. This just hit me, in about the same spot where mine used to end up. Don't know why, but I beat him to them and grabbed them. My wife is crying, I'm so sorry, over and over. I back up to the door and stand there and he's standing next to the bed naked. I grab the big easy chair out of the corner and pull it to the door and sit down. He asks for his clothes and I say no and toss him my wife's robe from the back of the door. He starts to walk towards me. Now, even though I'm 51, I'm in good shape. 6 feet 3 inches, 240. Years of going to the gym and working in landscaping have seen to that. I look at him and say, if you get any closer it's not going to end well for either of us. You'll be in the hospital and I'll be in jail, so why don't you just sit down? Wife is now sobbing into the pillow and he sits down. After an uncomfortable silence, he asks, what now? My reply is, I have no idea. Wife is still crying a little but sits up. Finally, I pull out my phone and tell them that they are going to tell me everything while I record it all. They look at each and my wife asks what do I mean everything. I say everything, how it started, how long this been going on, when, where, hotels, dinners, etc., everything. My wife says this is the only time to which I yell BS. There is no way you'd be comfortable enough to bring him to our bed if this hadn't been going on for some time. If you lie to me again, I'm walking out that door and finding a divorce lawyer. She starts crying again. So for the next 10 to 15 minutes it all comes out, been going on for over 9 months. Started with him flirting with her etc. till he asked her to lunch and she went. A few drinks later, they were at a hotel. She came home to me that night like nothing happened. She swears that it was killing her and she wanted to tell me but didn't know how. Again I call BS, if it was killing you, it would not have been so easy to keep it going. They even went to a week-long convention for work that I used to go with her to. She told me company policy changed and spouses couldn't go anymore. I put my phone away and more silence. Then an idea hits me. I look through his clothes for his phone and ask him for passcode. He actually gives it to me, so I start going through his phone. I find some pictures of a woman I assume is his wife and ask her name. Carol. She's very pretty, but not as pretty as my Ashley, I tell him. More picture of kids, find out he has 3 and finally a family picture of all of them. I hold up the phone and say, a beautiful family, why did you throw it all away for a tumble with my wife? His reply, what do you mean throw it all away, me, you really think Carol isn't going to find out? Him, how is she going to find out? Me, I'm going to call her right now. He stand up and says, no, you can't. My wife screams out, please you can't do this to him. I lost it. Can't do this to him. You've destroyed me, our family, our friends, our future, and broken my heart, and you're worried about him. I'm shaking again, trying not to let her see cry, but I can't hold together anymore. I fall back in the chair and start sobbing. She tries to come over to me, but I look at her say, stay the hell away from me. After a while I calm down and look at his phone again. He again says, please don't, I'm begging you. I swear I'll tell her. Yeah right, I reply. He's standing there pleading with me not to as I find her number and decide FaceTime would be even better. She answers and hi sweet, looks surprised and says, who are you, is my husband okay? He is for now, but won't be in a minute. I flip the screen to show him standing there in my wife's robe. I say, I believe you know him. The room he's standing in is my bedroom, the flowered robe he's wearing belongs to this woman, swinging the phone to catch my wife trying to pull the sheets over her head, but too late, that's my wife and I came home early today to find them having sex. I truly feel sorry for her and lousy for how I did it. She starts crying and he tries the, honey I'm so sorry, I can explain, it is just one time etc. routine. I tell her not to believe a word it's been going on for over 9 months and that I spent the last 15 minutes recording all the details they were willing to share. I tell her I'm going to text her my number and she should send me her email and I'll send her the video. I give him the phone and I hear her tell him when he gets home there will be a bag packed outside and if he tries to come in the house she'll call the police and hangs up. I toss him his clothes and he leaves after he's dressed. Now, it's just me and my wife. She looks at me and starts to cry saying she is so sorry, never meant to hurt me, can I forgive her, it didn't mean anything. All the usual cheaters BS. I look at her, tell her to pack a bag and get the hell out my house. I go downstairs and pour a drink. I'm sitting on the couch when she comes downstairs. She starts towards me and I say, just stop. She asks if we talk about this and I tell her maybe, just maybe, but not now. I tell her it's going to be really hard to not look for a divorce lawyer and she starts crying again. She looks at me and I know an I love you is coming. I say, Don't you dare say that right now, cause I don't think I will ever believe it anymore. More crying as she turns and walks out the door. Seeing her crying walking out the door, my entire life leaving, I break down and fall on the floor shaking, sobbing uncontrollably. No idea how long, but I finally sit down, still crying, and call my best friend. I try to speak but start crying again and can't get the words out. He asks what's wrong, but I can't talk. He asks if I'm at home and I kinda grunt yeah and says he'll be right there. 30 minutes later he's in my house, I'm still crying. I give him my phone with the video up and he proceeds to watch. I can't bear to hear it and get us both a drink. He comes in the kitchen and takes me drink away and dumps them both, saying, "This isn't going to help you." Tells me I can't stay here tonight alone and go upstairs and pack a bag. I come downstairs and he has my lab on a leash and we go to his house. That was 10 days ago and I still feel like absolute crap. I know this was long, thanks for reading this far. I will try to update later.